Alright, Tom, here's my second attempt at your video. Somehow it didn't load, so I thought I'd do it with a little better light in my own studio here. So anyway, we talked about Fire on the Mountain and things to do with a song that only has two chords and seems to go on forever with those two chords. How do you make it kind of interesting? One of the things he talked about was this. So I'm hitting it, hit long, and then I'm going. A little early, not early. So it gets there. And we talk about the scale. Mixolydian. So it looks like an E scale. And so basically you're playing an E scale. So, an E scale or a B mixolydian is the same thing. An E major scale, starting and focusing on the B's. So, and we also talked about the Hendrixisms here, on the barring the fifth and fourth strings at the fourth fret, hitting it once, hitting again, and getting a hammer, and one note will stay the same. Top note, D string will stay the same. Then on the fourth and third strings, fourth fret, out of that kind of A position there, or G position if you will, like that. And then there's the B and the D sharp, and those thirds. And then we can drop down again. We can actually use something like this, but I think this sounds better within the, mixolydian. And so there's that Hendrixism. And then when it goes to the A, you could go here, have your little finger move on up to the 10th fret. And we talked about letting this E string ring, open E string ring here. So the little finger would be going down the second string, 10, 9, 7, the rest staying the same. Drone feel. You do the same thing joining the B string. We didn't talk about that, but we could do some drones like that. And we also talked about quite a bit of muting. So we talked about when you mute, we talked about caving. Here's our hand ordinarily, right? Talked about caving that wrist in more, so we can get that. And as we move to the higher strings, our caved in wrist moves more toward the higher strings. As we move to the low strings, our wrist, caved in wrist moves the low string. And we talked about some arpeggio stuff, like in the key of B, we could go. It's our sweep with a flat pick from the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd fast. It's just kind of a flourish. And then this is at the 3rd finger on the 13th fret, 3rd string, 2nd finger on the 2nd string, 12th fret, and 1st finger on the 11th fret, 1st string. Another sweep. So those kinds of things. We also talked about these 6 off of the, since we're in B, off the sliding pentatonic, starting on the 5th string, B. And then after 1 octave, when it starts on the 5th, we're going to stretch. Now here we are. There we are at that F shape triad on the top 3 strings, what we call the F shape. And we could slide that 3rd string with the 2nd finger down 2 frets and back up. And then hit the 2nd string at, say, the 7th fret, which would be the 5th, and then slide it down and up, and then hit the 6th, then slide down and up, and then hit the tonic. That's that Dickie Betts thing. And then when we go to the A, talked about going down chromatically like this in that F position or 6th position, B flat to A. So we're going B, B flat, and then we talked about these 4s. So that's sliding the with the index finger at the 7th fret on the 2nd and 1st string, sliding from the barred 7th fret, back, and then hit it again. And then we're going to use our index finger on the 6th fret, 3rd string, our 2nd finger on the 7th fret, 2nd string. And then we're going to hammer on this 3rd finger at the 8th fret. There's that. To move a little bit, shift down a fret, shifting from here to here. So those are all some techniques you can use. Boy, I sure hope this one loads, because we're 8.5 minutes right now. So I'm going to try and see if it loads. Tom, any more questions, give me a call. Hope you come out tonight to jam night and practice hard. Thank you. Bye-bye.